I gotta tell you this, that learning about property rights has helped me understand the nature about government, nature about commerce, the nature about the relationship between government and the people. And what I learned is that I was poor-minded in the subject of property rights, and this is because I was government educated. I don't believe that government education can properly or adequately uh, teach an individual about property rights, um, because this is demonstrated in every government worker that they don't know what this is, and also the people that come out of government education, we don't know what it is, right? But within the last few years, I've learned enough about property rights to understand that the relationship with government is a dual relationship that we have. Every interaction with government or government officials is an interaction that can create a contract or an agreement. And now remember, in contracts and agreement, there's expressed agreement, that it expresses and outlines everything in the agreement and two people sign, or there's implied, meaning that you accept a benefit or a privilege from one party, but in exchange you're agreeing also to the terms and conditions. So for example, look at cars, right? A car, like, everybody has a car, almost everybody owns a car, every adult. And everybody is then asked that, or they're told that they're required to register their car. So the state is offering a service, and that service is going to create a contract in where the service is basically, the state is saying, we will register your car, your property, in our records, in the public records, where we are the main ones who regulate. We are the official regulator, public regulators. And by doing so, if you register, you accept our service, then that property that you're using will not be considered abandoned. In fact, if any time we see it or it's seen in the public, we can then make a determination based on the license plate and whatnot, that there is on the record an owner. So then there you go. That's a service right there. It's a commercial service. So if you agree to the service, you agree to the contract, there is an implied agreement also attached to it, meaning they're saying that you will be liable for all these commercial codes. You'll be liable to pay the fines of the commercial codes and liable to follow the mandates of the insurance policies or the insurance mandates. So what they're doing is they're offering a service, but it's implied that you're going to be bearing all the liability that comes with it. By accepting that, that's the agreement that one has. But the state is saying that they want to be entrusted with property. That's what they're saying too. They're saying, we want to be entrusted with your property. So that's they're offering a trust relationship. So now, if you know, or if an individual knows enough about property rights, they'll be able to recognize the commercial aspect of it and the trust relationship aspect of it as well. So if you create an agreement, a commercial agreement through a contract, and it's a public agreement, then that creates liabilities, and you are going to be liable unless you know enough about property rights to where you are going to not immediately agree to the contract, but you would rebut it. You would say, hey, I'm the one giving you property, I'm the one giving you rights, I'm the one who's offering the value. You want value from me for your consideration, right? And the consideration that you're going to offer me is you're going to register the car as a vehicle. All right, fine. But because I'm giving you value, I have the right to express how that value will be transferred. I do accept your offer, your trust relationship offer. However, I am not going to waive any of my beneficial rights. I'm not going to waive beneficial interest to the property. I'm not even going to transfer or convey any ownership rights to you, the state. You are strictly going to be the holder of the record, and that's it. However, I want to appoint you the transport officer, the manager, the official transport. I would say it would be the chief transport officer. I want to appoint you as trustee because you did take an oath of office, right? You are a government official. You do work for government, right? Therefore, your open office of trust, I am going to issue you a security, and I'm going to appoint you as trustee. And if ever there's a liability that comes or that is manufactured or that arises in relation to the property, then you're going to be the liable party, not me. So if there is a ticket issue, then you got to pay it, not me. I'm going to issue a security as collateral in case an obligation may arise, or just to secure the obligation in case a liability may arise. Sorry, this is how we secure obligations. You secure a public obligation, commercial contract, by trust. You provide security. You secure it, and you assign it. You assign it to an official trustee. And all public officers are open trust offices. They volunteered to be trustees of the public. They can't run away from it. They are the ones who are now open to us granting them rights in exchange for performance on their behalf, in exchange for consideration, which is to settle the account, administrate the account by using the security or by using the collateral. And they're supposed to administrate that, manage it. And it says it all in the laws. The laws says it. But these officials don't read the laws. We have to read the laws and point it out to them and says, hey, as per section blah, blah, blah of this blah, blah, blah act, your duty is to perform in such a manner, and contrary to that performance, you are subject to imprisonment or fine up to 5 years as per section blah, blah, blah. You know, when we present that to the public officials, that's when they would perform. Because the acts, the legislative acts, are for actors, and they're the one acting. And sometimes they forget their lines, sometimes they forget their role. And by us pointing to the acts and say, hey, these are your lines, this is your role, you actor, you got to stick to this. If you don't stick to this, then you're not performing, then you're going outside of your authority, of your role, and therefore now you're going to be held liable. Because if you stay within the role, if you stay within that, you perform as the act says, then you're not going to be held liable. You know, you're going to be held harmless. But if you go outside that role and want to do something other than what the law says, which is the laws and the acts for you to perform, if you want to go outside of that, there's consequences. Summary judgment can be made upon you, or we could take you to the high court. Breach of trust, right? So learning about property rights has made me understand a little bit more about how this whole system works, and the relationship between people and government officials. And well, I hope this was somewhat enlightening. I hope this helps to, or encourages you to want to learn a little bit more about trust, about property rights and such. So there you have it. Anyway, peace and love.